We have it covered for you on Matchday Live a little bit later on, but this is your chance to get involved because it's a big prize boost as well for the FA Cup final. So giving you the chance to win a Nintendo Switch on top of a £100 Megastore voucher and a signed shirt as well, if you can score the highest number of points on our Play Predictor game. All you need to do is visit the Fifth Stand app, make sure your predictions are in before 4:15, and if you top the leaderboard, you'll be buzzing. Last match, Oscar E from Nigeria was crowned our winner with 45 points. Sorry, boys, go again. It is 4:15.
How did he win
still,
if we got beat by...
Yes, because he's clearly gone 1-0 Arsenal.
He's gone 1-0 Arsenal and he's won a signed shirt. That's disgraceful. Isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, it is 4:15, Joe.
4:15.
If our predictions right, we'd go unbeaten.
Yeah, very, very true, Zach. Very, very true. Right, here we go, boys. It's FA Cup final day, a special occasion every football fan looks forward to. Wembley Stadium will accommodate over 6,000 Blues fans into the ground a little bit later on as well. We're all very excited, as you can imagine, and we have it all covered on Matchday Live a little bit later on. Here is your chance to get involved, though, and because it's an FA Cup final, we have a special prize boost on Play Predictor. Your chance to win a Nintendo Switch on top of a £100 Megastore voucher and a signed shirt as well. Make sure you get yourself onto the Fifth Stand app and get your predictions in before 4:15. Congratulations to Oscar E from Nigeria, who was crowned our winner with 45 points in the week. See if you can score higher than that and win yourself some prizes today. Here is what we've gone for then. I've gone for a 1-0 Chelsea win. Jason has gone 2-1. Pat has gone 2-1. Zach has gone 4-1. Zach, you know I'm saving you till last, mate. Jace, you're up at 2-1, pal.
Good afternoon, boys. I'm expecting a tight game. They're a very good side. They showed that against us earlier in the season. We were having a poor run of form there ourselves. We're a very, very different side. We don't concede many goals, but being a cup final, I'm going to give them a goal. But I think we'll just edge it slender by that 1-goal margin. That's why I've gone 2-1.
Pat, cup finals don't tend to be massively open affairs. Do you think 2-1 reflects how the game will pan out for you?
Do you know what? I thought 2-1. I was really thinking of going for 3-2 at one point as well. Reason being, I think Brendan Rodgers is going to go for it. I think he'll leave 2 up. And I think he's going to be open because the expectations at Leicester is that they won't win it. So they'll be open. And the fact that they'll be open, attack-minded, we'll be able to pick them off. So that's why I think there'll be goals. I'll go back to the 2-1. I'll stick with the 2-1. But I'm pretty confident that just against Arsenal there, bad day at the office. No more than that.
Yeah.
Zach, you know I love your optimism. You know I love your positivity. So you've gone 4-1 Chelsea to win the FA Cup final. Talk to me, mate.
I may have said that after the loss to Arsenal. I may have been in my emotions. But no, in all seriousness, I think Chelsea today can show the world that, as we said earlier, that was a blip. And also, they're missing a few players. If Johnny Evans isn't in that side for Leicester, I think we can really get at them and they struggle to kind of keep their line and be able to deal with the Chelsea attack, especially with the pace that we bring. And look, we've been here before. We were here last season. We just got to make sure it doesn't happen like it did last year.
Absolutely right, mate. Well, Matchday Live will have every single angle covered for you. So make sure you join us on the Fifth Stand app for the FA Cup final. Come on, you Blues. The Blues are back at Wembley, aiming for a 9th triumph. The world's oldest cup competition is set for its 140th showpiece final. Fans are back, the teams are ready, the weather is... Well, couldn't all be magic, could it? It's Chelsea versus Leicester in the 2021 Emirates FA Cup final.
Chelsea have won the cup.
And a goal! Roberto Di Matteo! James slots it and it's in!
Didier Drogba's in it! Yeah! And Didier Drogba scored!
Frank Lampard, he's done it!
Drogba. Oh! Yes! Didier Drogba makes it two. Couple of steps and in! Mason Mount! And Abraham's turned it in! He's done it again! Joel does it in! Diaz! Yes. He's done it! Chelsea are through to the FA Cup final!
Welcome to an FA Cup final special of Matchday Live. I'm joined by Jason Cundy, Pat Nevin and Zach Jella. Boys, here we go. Jace, it's a big day of football. It's something that we all dream of when you're a kid, an FA Cup final. You have this kind of magical feel about it. Last year was very different, obviously, behind closed doors. The fact that there are going to be 6,000 Chelsea fans in the final today seems fitting and also a bit of a boost for the occasion, isn't it?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, chaps. Yeah, it's great to see some sort of normality trying to return, not just to our lives, but to football as well. And it's been a dreadful year for so many different reasons, for so many different industries, and the football industry is no different. The fans have been missed. You know, I'm lucky enough, as Pat is, to go to games and to be there. And it's a soulless. I'll never get used to it. So hopefully this is the start of the beginning, if you like, back to having full stadia. But it's a massive occasion, the FA Cup, and look, there were no fans there last season. And it wouldn't have taken anything away from Arsenal's victory over us, and it'll be the same today, even though it won't be a capacity. Whoever wins today, it'll be a memorable day for them. And of course, we go into it as favourites. We've been here before many times, and it's a competition I really want to win. Now, we're here. I want the FA Cup. I want Tuchel with his first trophy, because who knows what that victory today could do for the rest of the season.
Pat, we just saw in there, we've seen it all week as well. Chelsea got such a rich history in this competition, 8 times winners, obviously 15 times finalists, beaten in the final last year, good run into it, beating the favourites in the semi-final in Manchester City. A lot of people were backing them to win it. Obviously yourself being FA Cup royalty, 9 seasons in the FA Cup and a finalist yourself. The players start to think about this at the start of the season, about it being a priority and an importance, or is it one of those things that you only think about it when you get into the latter stages of it?
It is strange that certain clubs don't think about it at all because they don't think they're going to win it. But certain clubs, every time they go into competition, they think, yeah, we can win that. I think we're one of the latter ones. We think we can win it when we go into the competition. So, sometimes you will change the team around in the early rounds, especially if you've got what is a draw from a lower league team. However, you will think at the beginning of every season, we're in this competition, we're in it to win it. And that's the way our team have looked upon it. And they're right, because we got the final last year and we got the final this year as well. So the attitude's perfect, the attitude's right. And now we're all believing that it is well capable. And we all think if we're good enough today and we're on our game today, we'll have every chance of some players who have not won major silverware with us winning it.
Absolutely right. Well, let's have a look at how we think the game will go today and on Play Predictor. Make sure you get yours saying before 4:15. That's when it closes. No, obviously, because it's an FA Cup final, we've gone big. There is a prize boost for today's game, including a Nintendo Switch that you could win alongside a £100 Megastore voucher and a signed shirt as well. All you need to do is visit the Fifth Stand Up and get those predictions in before 4:15, 1 hour before kickoff. Congrats to Oscar E from Nigeria, who won in the week. Here's what we've gone for today then. I've gone for 1-0. Jason and Pat have both gone 2-1. Zach, I've been saving you, mate, because this is what we want to start the show with. A big bounce of positivity. You're always my favourite when it comes to Play Predictor because you give us results like this. Talk to me and tell me why you think Chelsea are going to win 4-1 today.
I think in terms of the way kind of pre-match and build-up stuff like that, in terms of like Leicester having players that aren't playing, key players like Johnny Evans, everything's kind of falling Chelsea's way. They'll want to come back after a shock defeat to an Arsenal side that realistically they should have beaten, and they'll want to show. I think the fans are going to play a massive aspect here. Thomas Tuchel playing for the first time in front of Chelsea fans, and he'll want to give them a great show. Maybe I went a little bit over the top, but I do believe it is possible, because that is possible with this team, with this Chelsea team. In attacking sense and defensively, we are great. We just got to hope that both happen today.
Absolutely, mate. And I tell you what, it would set the tone ahead of what is a huge weekend for the club. That's our hot topic one for today, because not only, obviously, are we in an FA Cup final wearing a brand new strip as well, which is looking absolutely stunning, by the way. First time the yellow has come back in a good few years. You can enjoy early access, be one of the first to get your hands on this new kit, by the way, which is available from today on the official Chelsea online megastore and on the Stadium megastore as well, ahead of the full launch, which is Thursday, the 20th of May. So this Thursday coming up. Jace, obviously FA Cup final today, Champions League final tomorrow. This is Chelsea business. This is what we do. This is what other clubs aspire to be like. This is the 10, 15, 20-year plan that never comes. Chelsea are doing it and living it this weekend.
Do you know what? There is so much that this club can win over the next 3 weeks, and there's so much that can be achieved. Yet it's so close to having nothing as well, because we're in a final today. If we lose to Leicester and the girls lose tomorrow, imagine how that will feel, because there's so much that can be gained, and this. Literally, the whole thing can change in the blink of an eye. And we've been in situations before where the season's offered so much, and in the end, it's just tapered out. And that's why you've got, when these moments come around, and this is the first time the ladies have been in a Champions League final, of course. So, this is literally once in a lifetime so far. You've got to take it with both hands. You literally got to be there for the moment and make sure you do not leave anything behind. The same today, and of course, what's going to be said for the rest of it. We've got 4 games left. We've got 4 cup finals, essentially. 2 of them are cup finals, but Leicester, the game against Leicester next week, and of course Aston Villa the following weekend, and then the City. It's enormous games for the clubs. 5 massive, huge games. It's history-defining games that this football club can have, and fingers crossed we can win all of them.
Oh, mate, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Obviously, all the preparations here for the FA Cup final, but over in Sweden, Champions League final preparation in full effect with Lee Parker, who's out there for us, and he caught up with former Chelsea player Katie Chapman. Check this out.
Hello and welcome to a rather wet and windy Gothenburg, but no one cares, do they? Because we're now 24 hours away from a Champions League final between Chelsea women and Barcelona. Who better to look ahead to that huge game than this legend, Katie Chapman? How are you? How are the pre-match nerves?
Yeah, good. I'm really excited for the game. I think it's a big game, and these are the games you want to play in. So for me, sitting here watching, it's going to be tough, but it's going to be great all at once.
Are you a good spectator?
I've got better. I think the longer I've been retired, I've got better at spectating. But no, of course, these games you want to play in every game. But, I'm looking forward to it.
I was going to say, do you get itchy feet as an ex-player? Would you rather be out there kicking the ball around?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you always miss football. I think it's something that you do and you love. And, these are the games that you put the hours in for. So, you always want to play.
Absolutely. You can see the girls out here training with Emma. What will they be doing here 24 hours before the game?
Just getting themselves ready, really, getting the stuff out their legs, getting their legs moving and getting their mind ready. I think being here at the stadium, taking in all the atmosphere and that sort of stuff, and just preparing for the game. And
psychologically, what's going through their minds, do you think, this close to such a huge match?
I'd probably say nerves, excitement, a bit of everything. I think every individual does things differently, but I mean, these are the games that you do want to play in, and I think for every player out there, they're going to be so excited, and I'm hoping it's going to be a great showcase for women's football.
Certainly hope so. We travelled out with the team obviously yesterday. They seemed so calm and so confident. It's a very special group out here at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing team, and I think evident of the league title they've just won and coming here, and I'm sure they're full of confidence going into this game. And I think they've worked so hard, the club's worked so hard to get us to this point, and this is where we want to be, and hopefully it's going to be a good one.
Good stadium, good setup. It should be, like you said, a good sort of showcase for the women's game, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice pitch. It looks lovely out there. I think the girls look sharp. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, you might be able to see on camera, there is actually something separating myself and Katie, just to keep the VIPs away from the riffraff. I'm not going to ask you for a prediction because that wouldn't be fair, but what are you expecting from this Chelsea team tomorrow?
I'm expecting amazing things. I think if you look here, we've got a great defensive line, we've got an amazing goalkeeper. The forward line speaks for itself. I think, hopefully there's going to be a lot of goals in it. It's not going to be one of them really tight games. It'd be great to see a lot of goals, but I think obviously Barcelona are the sort of the unknown team within this. So it's going to be. Do you know what? It's great to see two different teams in the final, because I think it just shows that women's football is progressing around the world.
It certainly is on the up and up. It's the English champions against the Spanish champions here in Sweden, and the winner will take it all.
Talking about how lovely it is in Gothenburg, we've got Ben Andrews joining us in a sun-soaked Wembley Stadium now. Ben, I mean, a lot of us, myself included, looking out the window thinking, oh, it's not going to be a nice one today. FA Cup final weather, it's met you at Wembley.
Hallelujah. Yeah, it's supposed to be like this, isn't it? So are Champions League semi-finals, but that was like sort of grim Armageddon ahead of the Real Madrid game. You expect sunshine for the cup final. And yes, we've got it. And look, we got fans. Say hello, fans. Say hello. There you go. Hallelujah.
Love that. See, Pat, we were just talking about obviously how big this weekend's going to be, but that's what it's about, isn't it? Fans back in the ground for a cup final, a Champions League final, like Jason said, historic, a massive weekend for the football club. And Jason's right to say, obviously, it's got to be a balance. It's only massive if you win them. And obviously, at the end of the weekend, we could be lifting 2 trophies and it could be the giddiest, best weekend in the club's history. Vice versa, if you lose both, it's disappointing. But the fact that we're here, the fact that we've got this positive attitude ahead of it because of the finals and the positions we've put ourselves in, it's exciting, isn't it?
It's very exciting. See the fans thing. See if you go and you lift a trophy to nobody except a camera. It's nightmarish. But even if it's a limited number of fans, and I know we all want to be there, so we're very, very jealous, Ben, but every fan wants to be there. But for a player, you want to turn around and catch an eye, see somebody, feel something if you go and win that trophy. So, yeah, it's big for a multitude of reasons. And you're right, it's one of the biggest weeks, maybe a couple of weeks in the club's history. Yeah, but definitely. It all starts here, and we need to give it our best. And I've got real belief and real confidence we will give it our best. And having those fans behind us will make massive differences. As I say that, they make a loud noise. Well done, guys.
I was going to ask that, Zach, as well, because it does give you a boost, I imagine, as a player, seeing fans there, but also it's a mentality thing as well. When you see the whole club doing well, we've spoken about, Thomas Tuchel's mentioned the DNA of the football club. It wins things. It always competes at the highest level. When you know going into a weekend, everywhere, every reputable sort of broadcast company in Europe has been speaking this weekend about Chelsea's FA Cup and Champions League final in a couple of weeks as well. Obviously winning the WSL last weekend. It's such, winning breeds winning, doesn't it? It's such a big thing to get into that routine.
Indeed, and even the young guns as well, the younger ones who are watching on will be looking on and saying, wow, this is what I need to achieve to step up to this level, whether it's the seniors, whether it's the women's team, whatever it is, they're going on and achieving getting to an FA Cup final 2 years in a row isn't easy. It's not easy, and the amount of finals that Chelsea have been to, if you said it continues, and we are, I think sometimes we actually might take it for granted because we're in them so much that we're a little bit lucky at times that we're continuously in finals.
I think you're absolutely right, mate. We are very, very spoiled, aren't we, Ben? So you've obviously got all the preparations. How's it looking at Wembley for us? What have you seen? What's going on?
The grass is beautiful. The sprinklers are on. The Chelsea boys have just had a walk out. I'd turn it around and show you, but they've gone back in now. It is very warm. Some of them are smiling. Some of them aren't smiling quite so much because they haven't made the team. But we're having a little talk with Matt Elliott, who a lot of you will know was part of the Leicester defence, including against Chelsea in '97. And he's very pleased about one of their bits of team news as well.
Well, can you fill us in? Have you? I believe we're good to go now. If I believe anyway. Have you got the information for us?
I have. There were 7 changes for that Arsenal game. There are 5 more today from Chelsea's point of view. Just a quick thing on you talking about there on the volume of trophies, in case we're not quite at the point when we're allowed to release team news. This would be the 17th major trophy in 18 seasons under Roman, under a 15th different manager. That is ridiculous. Right, the 5 changes are Rudiger for Zuma at the back, Alonso for Chilwell, left wing back, Ziyech is in for Pulisic, Werner up top, not Kai Havertz, and N'Golo Kanté is back for Billy Gilmour. So that team in full. Kepa stayed in goal. That's the only thing we knew about beforehand. Aspie, Thiago Silva and Rudiger, Reece James, N'Golo Kanté, Jorginho and Alonso, and Mount and Ziyech in support of Timo Werner. Leicester, incidentally, 1 change, but a big one. Albright now, Johnny Evans in, fit. So that was a bit of a smoke screen, wasn't it, Brendan? So they will be going back surely to 3 and 5 and 2.
What do you make of that then, Ben? Because I know you'll have seen a lot of Leicester, and I'm sure all of us prior to the Arsenal game were hoping that everyone plays a 5 at the back against us, because it looked like we're having a good old time against it. But obviously Arsenal defended very well. Leicester are a very good defensive unit. Do you think 5 suits us a little bit more with them lining up like that?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Luke Thomas left wing back. Castagna's decent. They haven't got Ricardo Pereira fit, but unlike quite a lot of teams that you're right have decided, late in the day to just, okay, we'll match up with Chelsea. Leicester have done it on and off quite a lot this season. He does tinker around quite a bit, and they seem to be, to me anyway, pretty comfortable whether they are a 4-4-2 like they were against Man United or a 3-5-2 like they are now. Vardy's pace trying to stretch it. Iheanacho is now reaping the benefits there with their 2 strikers, which they hadn't previously done. That's probably why Jamie Vardy's only got 2 goals in his last 24, and Iheanacho has got 13 in his last 12, I was reading this morning. So clearly that's a twin threat in a different kind of way than it used to be when it was just, Vardy up there as that focal point.
Jace, what do you make of the team then, mate, now you've seen it?
I was expecting Kepa to start. I'm glad N'Golo Kanté is back. Rudiger, had to start. I like it. It's Alonso, when we play 3 at the back, Chilwell's done a fabulous job, but when we play 3 at the back, Alonso is definitely, I would say, going forward in those areas where you can really hurt them. I really believe he's better than Chilwell. Chilwell defensively, I'd have him. So there's a balance in that between those two. Werner had to start. Mount's in there as well. I suppose that the decision he had really was who's going to play with Werner and Mace. And he's gone with Ziyech today. And instead of at the pace of Pulisic, I have to say Pulisic from the bench against Real in particular changes the game. And if there is a moment where the game's becoming very stretched and perhaps Leicester looking to get back into it, he's the perfect person to come on, Pulisic, and really open the game up. Oh, and again, adversely, if you're chasing the game, you want to try and get something out of it, you need to get a goal. He's brilliant to come off the bench as well. So, it's a solid team. I'm pleased all round. Yeah, really pleased all round.
Pat, I wonder if Cup comes into it. We spoke about Marcos Alonso potentially getting the nod in the week because he's got a terrific record at Wembley. Obviously, Hakim Ziyech scored the winner in the semi-final. He's obviously played very well in recent, scored some big goals for Chelsea. Do you think that comes into the manager's thinking ahead of big games like this?
Well, it's not a negative. If Alonso's just won a winner, scored the winner recently, and Ziyech is scoring as well in big games. So yeah, it's a positive. But I think every manager's thinking the same now. There is the possibility of extra time. You need to keep some reserves on the bench. You need to have, I used to hate the phrase impact players, but you need impact with the guys that are coming on. And I think that's as much about his discussion. Really happy with that back line. And I think Jason's jumped on there really quickly. Alonso playing in that position and the danger he can have going forward. There's not many better than him, so I'm actually delighted to see Alonso starting.
It's going to be a good one. It is going to be so good today. Obviously, we'll continue to build up to the 140th Emirates FA Cup right here after we hear from the boss, Thomas Tuchel, who spoke to the media yesterday.
Hello, Thomas. Thank you for your time. Which is bigger? I'm sure you're going to say the next game is the biggest, but in reality, Leicester on Saturday or Leicester on Tuesday, with the race for the top 4 now so very tight, defeat or a draw, obviously on Tuesday, could let Liverpool in the back door. So, which is more important, do you think, these 2 games?
I cannot absolutely not judge it because these are 2 finals, and we don't think about anything else than the 2 finals. It's a final for Cup and it's a final for top 4 for us. It's clear. We missed a chance against Arsenal to be decisive, to have a decisive advantage. So now we have to cope with it and first of all show the reaction in Wembley to have the upper hand on Tuesday again. This is what we're up for.
Yes, like you say, a good performance and victory in the first game would give you an advantage mentally going into the second game.
Yeah, it's like this with any game. Every win gives you a good feeling, and any win gives you a momentum that you work hard for. So this is pretty much always the same. It's a bit curious that we played our two finals against the same team, and it will be very, very tough and complicated and difficult. But we feel ready for it. Whole group is available. Kova is with us again, and so it's the moment to step up and enjoy on the highest level. And by enjoying, we mean hard work and suffer and help each other out on the pitch. This is what we do now, tomorrow and on Tuesday.
Good news about the team news. Kerr has started every round of the FA Cup. Will he start the final?
Yeah, for sure. No changes there.
That's just all the way you've always planned it.
That's the way it is. If you have a goalkeeper for this competition, like we had with Kepa, you don't change in the final. He is a part of the group. He brought us to the final, so he deserves to play the final.
Last one, Gary.
Yeah, last one. Thank you. Looking forward to perhaps an even bigger game than the two you've got coming up, the big Champions League final. It's going to be in Porto. Your reaction to that?
I'm happy to go to Porto. I'm happy to go to a final. That's pretty much the easy answer. I would go anywhere to play a Champions League final as a participant. So, but right now the bigger challenge is to forget the Champions League final and be fully focused on our two finals that are ahead of us. We cannot lose 1% of concentration and focus. We did this the last game against Arsenal, and we got punished for it. So lesson learned and well accepted. The only thing on our mind is actually the game at Wembley, and we're happy to arrive today in the evening there and to prepare ourselves in a calm and focused way.
John Southall, Five Live. Unmute yourself, John.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
On Kepa, how close a call is it now between your two goalkeepers to be the number one?
Nothing has changed because Edu was number one when I came in. There was no need to change. Kepa is a fantastic guy, and Edu is as well a fantastic guy, and both did their job on an excellent level and in very impressive way. So nothing has changed. Edu is the number one, and Kepa is a strong goalkeeper, which we are very happy to have in the squad. And tomorrow is the next challenge for him to show.
And for you, what kind of emotions will you be going through tomorrow when you lead your side out at Wembley in an FA Cup final? Can you allow yourself to enjoy it?
I'm not yet in the mode to enjoy it. Still have a bit of a hangover from last defeat. So a hangover from last defeat. It's always like this. So I'm a bit more of an angry mode when we will arrive in the hotel and tomorrow, which is good because I'm not angry on myself or at the players, just because of the result and the opportunity we missed. And I will hopefully transform it into a good preparation and to put the team to the edge, push them to the edge and let them play sharp. This is my responsibility, and we absolutely have to show a reaction. We want to show a reaction. And this is it. It's a big match. It's at Wembley. It's a FA Cup final. My first final here in England is huge, but I will not get carried away with emotions tomorrow. I'm fully focused to prepare my team better, like we did 2 days ago.
Is that good that you're angry and the players are probably angry as well? Did that defeat against Arsenal maybe give you all a bit of a kick up the backside?
Well, it clearly did, and it's a good thing. It's a very easy preparation because I think we all feel that kind of anger on ourselves and on the missed opportunity and on the performance that night against Arsenal. So it's a good thing. It's easy to prepare, and now we have the challenges to focus on only this match, to focus on us and play on the edge. And we will do this in terms of, we will try this in terms of quality. We need our best game. Leicester's a super strong side. They deserve to be in the final. And 2 days later we play. We compete with them for top four. So it's highest level and we need a top performance. It's absolutely clear.
You said Mateo Kovacic is back. So how important is that to you? Because he's he's a real influence for you, isn't he?
Well, it's huge because Matteo has everything what we need in midfield. He has experience, he has power, he has the acceleration, deceleration. He can dribble the ball, beat players. He's fast. He's the physical ability, and he's experienced in big games and in Premier League. You could see that when we miss Matteo and N'Golo in the same match, we lack a lot of quality. And energy and experience. Billy did a huge job in both games now, but still it's not fair to compare him to these players, because they have more experience and they are in their development a step ahead. So this is what we absolutely need in the key moments of the season. At the end of the season, it's big news for us that Kova is back, because he's a huge impact in the dressing room also around big matches, and a very positive guy, so it's good news.
James at TalkSport.
Thomas, you've managed in a number of finals, you've won some, you've lost a few.
Yeah.
What is different about a final, and what is the key to being successful in one?
Well, you're so close, and both teams are so close, and the hunger increases and increases. The desire, once you arrive in the final, you build yourself the pressure. It's not even like you guys put the pressure on us, no, but yourself. You don't feel so close when you start a cup competition in the first and second round. You know it's going to be tough, and you know where you want to go, but it's not the same tension that builds up inside of you. And because you are so close, the cup will be there. You know you can. This is the last match, and you never know when it's possible again. You know to arrive again. This is sometimes unique opportunities, and that builds the circumstances which are unique, and you can feel this in the preparation, in the training today, in the approach to the match, in the concentration level. It is different to be in a final, and it's the best thing. It's the best thing to have on high level sport. Brings out the very best in you, and we have to cope with it, and we want to absolutely cope with it. It's a big gift to have it, and hopefully we can show our best performance tomorrow.
And how excited are you about managing in front of the Chelsea fans for the first time as manager, and being close to those supporters who've been so far away for so long?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I just forgot it until you asked that there are spectators tomorrow. I got so used to not having spectators. Semi-final was without spectators for us, not for Southampton and Leicester. So yeah, will be a shock. Will be a shock tomorrow to go on the pitch and hear some noise, but it will be so nice. We are absolutely looking forward to that. The game is not the same without spectators, and it's pure pleasure to arrive tomorrow and see our fans there, see parts of our families. I think it's a huge boost for everybody.
And for you personally, how important would it be to lift a trophy within just a few months of becoming the Chelsea manager?
If you ask me this question, hopefully in 4 years' time on the same place, I will tell you the same. It has the same importance, because once you arrive in a final, you arrive with Chelsea, you want to win the final, nothing else. And it's and you know, like you said, I've won some finals, and the big change to me personally did not arrive. Like, you're super happy, you have the best night after that, you feel relieved. I feel so happy for everybody who is involved, for everybody who suffered, for the families, for friends, for my family. I'm so happy for 2-3 days. But after that, it didn't change nothing in me. It was the same hunger the next training when the season started again, the same desire, the same anger when you lose games, the same anger when training is not going in your way, when things in the dressing room are not going in your way. I never stepped in and said, yeah, but I won a final, now I will not take care about this stuff. It's not like this. It's more like you want more and more and more. So how important is this? It's huge, because it's a final, and if you're so close to a title, you want to have the title. I'm not any different than any other player here in this building, and any other staff member in this building. We are Chelsea, and we are about winning, and we want to win titles, and as many as possible. And a win tomorrow is absolutely crucial and will not change nothing for hopefully the next final.
Nick Purewell, PA.
Hi Thomas, is it right that there was a little worry about N'Golo and his fitness, and if that's the case, how close, will he be able to start and play the whole game? And obviously he's available, so I mean, another big boost for you.
Yes, it's huge. We took the decision together with N'Golo, me and the medical, and to leave him out and give him this Arsenal match to rest and have a treatment. The right Achilles, I think, was pain management. It's not a huge injury. It's nothing you need to be afraid of getting bigger. It was just there, and it was a bit annoying. It was pain management and pain treatment. So he did all training sessions yesterday, today full, no complaints. He will start tomorrow and very likely finish the game for us.
Okay, last question, Jerry Cox.
Hi Thomas, you well?
Yeah, fine.
Good. What were your first memories of the FA Cup? Did you watch it as a small boy in Germany? It seems to be a sort of global tournament that everyone seems to have some memory of.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the old Wembley Stadium, seeing it on TV. It was not so easy to see games from abroad these days. I'm not that old, but still it was not that easy. So when I could see some of these games, I could feel like different shirts, different players, different atmosphere in the stadium. I remember the old Wembley Stadium, and of course the name is a name of the stadium is a big name, of course, in Germany and whole Europe. So it was huge for me to have the possibility to coach a team in semi-finals, and is now maybe even bigger to have the possibility in the first season to coach a final. And but not too many particular memories and details.
Pulisic has found him here, tight angle, he was looking for Giroud, Pulisic, yeah! 1-0 Chelsea! Brilliant goal, wonderfully made, all of that front three who've been so good this season. Hazard normally so cool. Couple of steps and in! Chelsea lead the cup final. And the man for the big occasion rolls it home from 12 yards. Now Willian. Scooped up by William for Costa. It's Diego Costa and it's in! And Chelsea get the equaliser, and it's the main man who's done it at Wembley. Costa kisses the badge. The Blues look down and out. Diego had other ideas.
He's got one matter away, and now Ramirez, who might be through him. Ramirez for Chelsea, and it's in! It's taken 10 minutes, and the man who scored that magic goal in the Nou Camp has done the trick again at Wembley. Lampard sucked in Spearing and then beat him, and that's a useful ball for Didier Drogba, who makes it two. Did really well to get it out of his studs and gave Reina no chance. And with just 6 minutes gone in the second half, Chelsea surely have one hand on the cup.
Drogba, decent hit! Oh! Yes! Mr. Cup final strikes again, and that Pulisic penalty save is looking massive now. It's 1-0 Chelsea.
Lampard. A bit of space here for Malouda. 2 yellow shirts in the box, now 3. Drogba! Always seems to score on cup final day. Anelka, now Lampard. He's escaped Neville this time. Frank Lampard! Oh! Pick that up. Frank Lampard blasts Chelsea into the lead.
Drogba. Drogba again! Drogba! Didier Drogba! The first goal in an
Chelsea's with 5 minutes left of extra time. Gianfranco Zola. James lost it and it's in. No. Was it? It has been given. And Chelsea have gone in front. It's for Chelsea. Rolled off to Di Matteo. Yasu's making an angle run ahead of him and opened up some space though. And a goal! Oh, fantastic start. Roberto Di Matteo. Inside 45 seconds. Now Newton to take it on. He's got Petrescu ahead of him. And Hughes. This is Petrescu. And Zola. It's in. Eddie Newton has made it 2 for Chelsea. And surely now the cup is theirs.
Hutchinson. Cook takes it up. Osgood's got on his run, and there's the ball coming in. Osgood! A wonderful goal! A fantastic strike by Chelsea. It's a good long one, not long again, towards David Webb! And Chelsea are in the lead! For the long throw of Ian Hutchinson. It was touched on, and the big defender David Webb. McCready. Hutchinson trying to flick it, backhead it. It's gone to Houseman with a shot. And a goal! Oh, terrible mistake now by Sprague. And Houseman has scored the softest of equalisers.
Collins to curl it in again. Hutchinson! A goal by Ian Hutchinson! And Leeds United prostrate on the deck. And now then, watch this header, and there's the goal that put Chelsea back into the game and tackling the man who got it.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. Pat has gone to get set for commentary, so we've added some more class to the lineup. A big game player. Welcome, Carlton Cole. How are you, mate?
How are you, Joe? Long time, mate.
Yeah,
Long
mate.
time.
It's been
I think
it's been about a year, isn't it?
Did we?
Exactly that, mate. I was just about to say that. Me, you, and Jason stood outside. Everything was all right. I mean, you and Jason were wearing shorts, but we'll leave that. We'll leave that where it was. It's fine. It's fine. No, mate, but that's exactly it, isn't it? Cup finals come around. It feels like it's been a long time since the last one, especially because the last one was in very different circumstances anyway. But how does it feel now? Does it feel like, you know, football's back on the right path?
Sorry, boys. My connection is messed up here. I don't know what's going on today.
That's right, mate. I tell you what, we'll give you a second to get set. Hopefully, it'll jog back in. But Jay, just on that, because our hot topic too is right in the wrong of last year. Like I was saying, me, you, and Coley were stood outside Wembley, and I know it's hard to remember, but there was obviously quite a big Arsenal contingent in Box Park down Wembley way. There was a lot of noise coming from their sort of fan park area, and it was gutting, wasn't it? It's one that's definitely going to stay with you until you put it to bed, and that's exactly what we can do today.
Yeah, I mean, we went in, I mean, not too dissimilar actually to today's game. You know, we went into it favourites, and we got our noses in front and couldn't make it count. And Arsenal on the day, tactically, Arteta went about his work pretty not too dissimilar actually to something that he did. You know, sat deep, tried to soak up and catch us on the counter-attack. Today's game will be different. It'll be a bit more open. They're two, you know, very attractive sides, easy on the eye, like to have possession of the ball. And I think today's game will be very different. But going back to your question, it does feel similar. And I remember being very confident going into that game against Arsenal. And I actually feel quite similar today. And I'm a little nervous about that because of what happened last season. You know, it feels very similar, you know, and that's I'm very conscious of the fact that this is a game that we can very easily lose as well as win it.
Zach, there's obviously a few players starting today that were involved last year. Obviously, you know, you look at Reece James, Mason Mount, of course, and then you go through the team of players that have already won this competition: Marcus Alonso, Antonio Rudiger, Azpilicueta. Thiago Silva's won pretty much everything in the world, but the FA Cup would be a lovely addition to his trophy cabinet. But do you think that'll make the squad nicely balanced in terms of players that have been there and done it, but also players that are motivated to win it for the first time?
Yeah, for sure. And especially the boys that were there last season and suffered the defeat. I mean, I read earlier, whether it's actually true, I'm not too sure, but I read earlier that Mason Mount's dad told him to take a picture of the second place medal and send it to everyone to remind them that we can't have this happen this time. Which, again, I don't know if that is true, but that's what I've read.
Nice story.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And like, I'm sure that extra drive they have within them now to make sure that they don't come away from this having lost again, got to the final, done all the hard work and failed at that last 90 minutes. They'll do all they can. And as you said, there's a nice mix between the experienced boys like Aspilicueta, Thiago Silva, and the youngsters who are also kind of experienced with last year's results as well.
Absolutely, mate. I love that story about Mason Mount. That's class. Coley, we were just talking there about righting the wrong of last year, and obviously how players will be motivated going into it. When you come to a big game like that, is it important to kind of embrace those feelings, or is it kind of, I don't know, some players will be better if they shelve it to one side and just focus on the game at hand? How did you find it?
I think you got to understand with players, they thrive on pressure. Most players thrive on pressure, because otherwise they wouldn't have got to the level they got to. So these are the sort of players that someone like a Mason Mount definitely wants this sort of game, so he can put his name on the map and make history in Chelsea colours. So I'm really excited to see the young players that play today try and leave a name and an impact on the FA Cup, because that is what everybody wants. Everyone wants to be remembered after their career for something, and if he can get at an early age as he is showing what he's doing right now, it just leaves the door open for greatness for the rest of his career.
Absolutely right, mate. We're talking about righting wrongs and stuff like that. Someone that did exactly that in his Chelsea career after an FA Cup final, a couple of years later going back and lifting the trophy big. A man that is fondly remembered by both parties involved today. Ben Andrews caught up with Frank Sinclair at Wembley Stadium a little bit earlier.
Welcome to Wembley, folks. Here we are again, yet again, privileged to be so this year. Above all years, possibly, and not just privileged but spoilt. Some mind-boggling numbers about all of this. 5th cup final for the club, all in 5 straight seasons. That's never been done before. 28th visit to the new Wembley. Yes, a couple of league games against Spurs, but honestly, that is incredible. Only 11 in 70 years at the old Gaff. It's almost more than Spurs, who played their league football here for quite a long time. Frank Sinclair, former Blue and former Fox, is with me ahead of this final. And Frank, the potential emotional contrast, so huge. As someone who's experienced both, the defeat 94, the win in 97, it's everything and it's nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was something that I wasn't prepared for in 94 when you think about it. As a young player, I think I was only 22 at the time. And, you get wrapped up in the day and the occasion and pre-match, in those days, they used to have the cameras on the coach and travelling with you and all that side of it, and it almost took your mind away from the actual result that you wanted to get on the day, because it was such a big occasion. And it wasn't until we actually lost the game in 94 that it came down on me in a tumble of bricks in how bad it is to lose in an FA Cup final. So obviously going into 97, that was something that was still with me, and luckily we was able to get rid of that ghost.
In 94, younger viewers, Manchester United were victorious, and there was a penalty that Frank had some involvement in, and it got you some grief, didn't it? It really did.
It did, and when you read David Ellery's book, he goes back to that time and says that it's probably the worst decision he made in his career as a referee. It was difficult to take at the time, because obviously we're playing against probably the best team in the country at the time. That Man United side won the double, had some top players in their side as well, so we knew it was going to be difficult on the day, even though we had done the double on them in the league home and away that year as well. 1-0, Gavin Peacock scoring both goals. But for me, that decision killed the game for us. Made it 2-0 after Eddie's penalty previously before that, and I just knew it wasn't a penalty at the time. For one, I knew it was outside the box, and for two, it was very questionable whether it was actually a foul. So it was tough to take, and I think as a team we crumbled after that, went chasing the game because we didn't have the experience of a cup final before, and obviously Man United picked us off after that.
Fast forward to 1997, another very contentious decision. Leicester, Chelsea en route to winning it. The Erling Johnson, Spencer Pryor, and then when you joined Leicester, apparently they were still talking about it.
They certainly were. It was for me, it wasn't a penalty on the day, but you take what luck you need to take. You know, going on to getting to a FA Cup final, there's going to be swings in luck that come along with getting there, and you need that little bit of luck on the way. And for us on that day, that was a penalty decision in a tough tie, because Leicester were a good side, you know, and difficult to play against. And obviously, like you touched on, it was one of the first things I was reminded of when I signed for Leicester. So they were still hurting, and obviously this is their first FA Cup final in many years. So you know, as a football club for them, it's a really important afternoon for them.
So to today, the current crop of Chelsea players, most of them, not all of them, but most of them will have felt the pain this time last year against Arsenal, especially having led and been by much the better side and then losing it.
Yeah.
Your mob turned that round from 94 to 97. Do you think they use it, the modern day players, that as fuel, that pain that they felt on this pitch a year ago?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know, there'll be people in that change room saying there's no way we're losing 2 of these on the spin, and it's something that you take into the game with you, that extra little bit of determination that hopefully will take you over the line on the day. And certainly, even though it was 3 years down the line, for the likes of myself and Eddie Newton and Dennis Wise, who would have been captain in the side at the time, you know, the pain of 94 was still there, and it wasn't until we won it that you actually can look back at it and you can almost smile on it now, because it's an experience that you've taken, but for the better, you've taken that on to be victorious.
First medals for Frank and some of the boys then, and that could be the case today. The likes of Reece James, Mason Mount, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz would be their first major medal as a professional senior footballer. That's a very big deal, and do not underestimate that. More from me and him a bit later.
Jace, I know you're good mates with Frank Sinclair. I mean, I would ask you for a story and half, but again, Frank's not here for a right to reply, and I don't. Yeah, we've not got enough time before kickoff, but it's going to be a special day for Frank, because obviously, you know, he's obviously a massive Chelsea fan, been a Chelsea boy all his life, but Leicester City obviously hold a part of his heart as well. It's nice, and it's those kind of stories and narratives, isn't it, that make the FA Cup so special, because you don't quite get that with any other competition in the world, the tradition and the kind of nostalgia about it all.
No, it's you know, as you said there, it is the oldest cup competition in football in the world, and it's you know, it's one of those competitions that perhaps over the years has slightly been devalued by the money in the Champions League and the priorities that clubs put on that, and that's understandable from a financial point of view. But once you get to this stage, the players won't be thinking about anything else other than winning this. This is a and someone mentioned earlier about Thiago Silva. You know, imagine that a year ago. He's just lost the Champions League final back when it was in September, and now he's in an FA Cup final. You know, and I can only imagine what that he must be feeling. And at the other end of his career, someone else mentioned, it might have been Coley, about Mason Mount going in and winning his first FA Cup. So you know, that's what this competition does. And of course, as you said earlier, we've got a rich tradition in this. We are perennial winners. You know, this is a competition that we not only get to the latter stage, but normally get to the final. We've been disappointed in some finals, and we've been, you know, we've managed to lift the cup in others. So I just want the players. I think we deserve something out of this season. What Tuchel have done so far, I want something to hold on to, because top 4 is going to be a fight, and we know what the Champions League is going to be like as well. So what a chance to get yourself first piece of silver as Chelsea manager.
John, do you know what? Yeah, I was looking at some stats, right, and Brendan Rodgers, this is a bad omen for Chelsea, by the way. Brendan Rodgers has never lost any final that he's been in. Did you know that?
Who's he managed in finals? And who was it against? It was Celtic against Wraith Rovers, probably.
he puts on an amazing stat, and he goes, I ain't got a clue.
But it must have been one with Liverpool or something like that. I don't know. But all I'm saying,
I think, yeah.
All I'm saying, hang on. Today's the day to burst this bubble, eh? Today's the day to burst that bubble.
You've saved it. Good save, Colin. Plenty more.
Just bring up that stat just in case, you know what I mean?
Mate, I'm loving it. This is the man that's going to burst the bubble. Let's hear from Thomas Tuchel, who's been chatting ahead of the Blues FA Cup final.
Firstly, can I ask, how's the atmosphere at Cobham coming out of the Arsenal game and into this one? Same as usual, quiet, calm, or is there an excited buzz about the place?
No, we're a bit angry still.
And not so much on us or like in a personal way, but on our performance, on the result, on the missed opportunity. And it's maybe a good thing. If there is a good thing in this result and in this experience from last game against Arsenal, is that the preparation in terms of attitude, in terms of like being sharp and being on point and focused will be very easy. We are there. We are already there yet, and it's always like this. After a loss, you normally want to play the next match just the very next day. So we cannot wait to arrive in Wembley tomorrow and to give the answer to the last performance. We know we cannot get the points back, but it's necessary as sports guys to have a reaction. I have a clear expectation. I think they will start with Iheanacho and Vardy up front, and I think they will play a 3 in midfield, maybe a double 6 and a number 10, or a number 6 and 2 number 8s, 2 number 10, something like this. But the 3 of midfield I expect, and I expect the back 5 with Evans coming back and Soyuncu and Fofana being in the squad. It's a well-structured, well-organized team, very technical team. Play good football, have a good fluid style of play. So very difficult. Vardy and Iheanacho always on the front foot to attack the back of our last line. We need to be very, very careful for that, and need to minimize our mistakes in build-up, because they can be absolutely crucial in counterattacks. And still, we want to put the game up to the opponent's half and be in a better shape, be sharper, be more focused than against Arsenal. I make them wait until tomorrow, 11 o'clock as usual. I think that some of them will guess and know that they will start, like Kepa, for example. But to be absolutely sure, then they need to wait until my last decisions are made, and that is tomorrow 11.
In England, we seem to feel that the FA Cup final is a bigger thing than it is in other countries. I don't know if that's true or not, but was it an event that you used to watch and be aware of? Do you have any memories of English Cup finals?
Yeah, I have memories. It was the game that was on TV, because there were not many games on TV, but the cup final or cup semi-final from Wembley, I can remember that I saw this as a young boy and as a young guy. I have the feeling that here in England and in your country, it is there's a huge value for the tradition of this cup. So yeah, I would say it has a bigger importance, more value than even in Germany, where it's huge, and bigger than in France. So the prestige is higher. The challenge, of course, is super tough, because the best teams in the world are included. So once you arrive in one of the most historical stadiums of the world to play a final, you want absolutely to win the final, and it's a big moment in anybody's career.
All right, let's talk about the man, then, shall we? Our hot topic 3 for today is the Tuchel effect. I mean, it does seem that he breaks a new record with every result at the moment. We're spoken about every time a manager gets put up against him, or he might struggle here, he seems to overcome it. Carlton, how impressed have you been with Thomas Tuchel since he's been at Chelsea?
Listen, I've got to be totally honest with you. Obviously, I was a little bit disgruntled when the sacking of Frank Lampard. Definitely, I felt it was a little bit premature, but at the same time, the people at the top know what they're doing, and it shows you now. They've been proven right, and then you look at what Tuchel's done. He's had to inherit this team. It's not actually his team. They're not his players, but he's come in under his tutelage, and they've responded in the right way. And I feel like he's just been absolutely outstanding in the Premier League. And it's great to have a manager like that. You can see that he studies the game and he combs over the finer details, so the players get the best out of each game. So I've been so impressed with him, although I feel a little bit sad for Frank Lampard that it's actually come to this. But at the same time, you can take nothing away from Thomas Tuchel.
Zach, exactly what Carlton's saying there, and to pick up on that bit that he said about sort of individually that going over everything so meticulously. You see that with players as well, don't you? Because we speak about man management, how important it is and how difficult it is to keep every player happy. Every player wants to be playing, but you see that with the players that aren't playing as much, the way they're celebrating games. Even, you know, when some of the boys, I mean, obviously the iconic picture of Thiago Silva, Mason Mount and Jorginho, was it as well, up in the stands for the Champions League game, celebrating. But that team mentality, that sort of all-togetherness, that's something that managers don't always get right, but he's done exactly that straight away off the bat, hasn't he?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when you look at Chelsea's squad and there's so many players that realistically in any other team would be starting, having them, you know, so you wouldn't be surprised if you heard stories behind the scenes that they were a bit annoyed that they weren't starting. Whereas Tuchel's come in and managed to keep them all happy and fighting for every game. And when they get their chance as well, they take it every single time. I've yet to see a player come on for Tuchel and not grab his chance, whether it's Callum Hudson-Odoi, whether it's Billy Gilmore, who started 3 Premier League games in a row. Every time one of them come on, it's not you know, I'm annoyed that I haven't been playing. It's okay, I'm going to show you what I need to be playing next week. And it's so impressive. It really, really is. And I think Carlton was right. Like it's not easy to take over from Frank Lampard, such a legend of the club, and Thomas Tuchel seems to have done it smoothly, as perfectly as it could have possibly been for him.
Jace, 18 clean sheets in 26 games, I think it is, for Thomas Tuchel since he's taken over. 18 clean sheets, definitely since the end of January. And that is a staggering feat. There are teams in the Premier League, good teams in the Premier League, Arsenal being one, that have got 18 in all competitions this season. We've got that in the space of 4 months. But that transition and that change to go straight away to a 5 at the back, straight away to say, this is the system I'm going to play, this is what we're going to do, and to stop other teams scoring, you turn Chelsea into a team that, you know you can go out and you're going to get a game from, into a team that are really highly feared by the teams because you struggle to score against and teams get no joy against you. How important is that as a mentality shift as well as a sort of a shift in personnel and shape?
Well, the mentality of the side has changed. You know, we were under Frank quite an open side, easy on the eye, created lots of chances, conceded too many goals, and we're a horrible team to play against right now. You know, really horrible. We must be, you know, to try and come up with a tactic to beat Chelsea. The only reason Arsenal beat us the other day was down to our own fault. It was a Jorginho back pass, and that led to some confusion. They scored the goal. We don't give many goals, easy goals away. And that's the thing. We're a hard team to play against. Consequently, you go at the other end of the pitch, we don't score many, we don't create as much as we did on the front, but it's getting a balance right. And Coley made the point a second ago about he's coming, it's not his team. It's taken Tuchel 99 days to get Chelsea into a Champions League final. It's taken Pep 5 years. So, I mean, you know, gives you some idea as to what he's done. He's in 2 cup finals in this short space of time. He's got us on the cusp of Champions League football by automatic qualification by getting in the top 4. Do not underestimate what he has done. Only one side in the league this season, since Tuchel has come in, has gathered more points, and that's Man City. You know, we're second in that. So we are a very, very difficult side to play against, and he's got it right. He's got the balance right. And as a manager, you work from the back. I think he's gone back to basics, and it's said often. It's a phrase, you know. But if you don't concede goals, you don't get beat. And he's gone back to those basics. He's made it difficult to break down, difficult to score against, and we've got so much attacking flair that he's almost relying on that at a point in the game to score and create chances. Well, really, I said a minute ago we don't score many goals. We should be scoring more than we do. You know, we miss some chances as well. So he's just got it. He's just got it absolutely spot on right now. Now, next season, there may be a change. He may look at something because we don't score enough goals. There may be a striker that he brings in. He may be looking to change things up top. But right now, he has got a base in which he has got something to build upon. And those games that are coming up now, he will want to, the first thing we'll want to go into every single game, we can't concede. Do not concede. And that's Leicester's conundrum today. Brendan's got the same problem now. How do we score against this Chelsea side? And it's not easy.
Absolutely not. Thomas Tuchel's got an incredible record, an incredible CV that he's building as well, of names ticked off that he's got the better of. Ben and Frank are obviously at Wembley for us today. They've been discussing that managerial tussle that's going to happen on the touchline.
Welcome back to Wembley, folks, where former Blue and former Fox, still a soft spot for Leicester, but a softer spot for Chelsea. Frank Sinclair and I are talking about Leicester. Thomas Tuchel hasn't had a look at them yet. It's just them and Villa he hasn't faced in terms of Premier League oppo yet. Quite a tough team to prepare for because Brendan will tweak things in-game, different shapes.
Yeah, absolutely. Very similar with his formations when you think about, previous Chelsea teams this season. He's played 4 at the back, he's played in a 4-3-3, he's gone to a 3-5-2 now recently, and Chelsea have obviously done similar things recently as well. But, Brendan, I think he would have done his homework for this game and worked out a way that he feels that they can win the game. He's a massive student of the game, and when you think of, he's actually coached at Chelsea and worked with some great coaches here as well. I think, Thomas Tuchel will, at some stage in the game, maybe have to tweak things, maybe have to change personnel or something like that, because I think it's going to be a 50-50 game going into it, and really looking forward to, the style of football that's going to be played by both teams.
Chelsea 10th after the defeat at the KP, the last time the Blues and Leicester met. Frank Lampard's last Premier League game in charge. Obviously, the trend has been upwards since then. Leicester have stayed in and amongst it just at the moment in terms of that top 4, which is another subplot to this. But in terms of their standing, we used to have a big 5, didn't we, with Tottenham and Everton in it. Nowadays, people talk about the big 6, and Chelsea and City are obviously in that. Where are Leicester in terms of their standing now? I mean, they've won the league, they are regularly knocking on the door for Champions League finishing. Yeah,
I think financially they're certainly able to equip themselves with the top teams in the country now. I think they're still knocking on the door of the so-called top 6, you'd say, in this country, but steadily growing in the right direction and going in the right direction, should I say, because when you look at the manager that they've got in place, the players that they're trying to get to the football club, I think they're getting better and better slowly, but I feel that's the best way to do it, rather than rushing at things and overspending or whatever it might be. And then sometimes you can have too many players to tinker with a manager that's not used to it, and that can have an ill effect on you. So I think they're slowly going in the right direction, Leicester, and obviously, the position they're in this season is a real credit to Brendan Rodgers.
Well, an inspirational manager by all accounts, and we know him a little bit. He's a good fella too, but after today we'll wish him all the best. In fact, after Tuesday night at the Bridge, we'll wish him all the best. Back to your time there, though, when Leicester were definitely not at the standing they are now. You had another inspirational Northern Irish boss, Martin O'Neill. What was he like to play under? Yeah, great. I loved playing for him. He wasn't
your players type of coach where you'd see him on the training ground every day and drilling the team and getting whatever he wanted to get out of the way that his philosophy of the way that he wanted to play. He was very much a psychological type of manager, and he was one of those managers that you just didn't really want to let him down. He had that respect that bordered along fear, but with the way he was with you, and he certainly got the best out of the players that he had at the time. We didn't. When I went to Leicester City, there wasn't any real household names, but what I found out very quickly that there were some real good players, your likes of your Muzi Izits, who obviously came from Chelsea, Big Matt Elliott, Steve Walsh, Neil Lennon, Robbie Savage. So these were players that didn't have real household names in the Premier League at the time. But when I started working with them, I realised they were really good, underrated footballers. And he was able to put a good squad together, Martin O'Neill, that affected the way that he wanted to play. I see Brendan Rodgers as being very similar. When he brings players to Leicester's Premier League team now, they're not household names. They come here and they grow a reputation. You look at Kanté now, the player that I know Brendan Rodgers didn't bring him to Leicester City, but he came to Leicester City as an unknown, and now he's one of the top midfield players in the world. So Leicester have a habit of doing that recently with players. Maddison coming into his own now as a player as well, and obviously they've got good striking options for today's game. So really looking forward to see what they can bring to try and trouble Chelsea.
I'm going narrow, nervy, Chelsea by 1 goal. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think there'll be lots of chances in the game, Ben. But whether both teams take them or not, we'll find out in a little while. But I think Chelsea will win by the odd goal, and I'm going 2-1.
The sun's coming out. Chelsea are going to win. Back to you.
1 now. Quiet, please.
Here we go. Again, with lots of chances, Pat and Frank and Ben both think, which is fairly common because Pat Nevin has been looking at 2 people that could have a very big say in today's game. Both goal scorers, both really fancy it.
At Wembley today, there could be 2 players who've got a lot in common. Jamie Vardy and Timo Werner. Similarities, goal scorers getting in between defenders. That's what good goal scorers do. And the similarities are actually quite stunning. Once again, look at this. Very similar to Vardy. Get in there, don't think about it, put it in the net. But also, get into the right position. Make sure you're in a position where if the ball lands at your feet between two defenders, you're there and you can score. And Timo Werner does that just as well as Jamie Vardy. Now, on this occasion here against West Ham, he waits and waits and waits. Get between the sticks. It's not complicated. Okay, Vardy's goal scoring has been fantastic recently, but also the making of goals. Make sure you put it where you would like the ball if you're a striker. Cut it back and others can come in and finish as well. And Timo has been scoring, but also making a huge amount of goals. And that pace is absolutely electric, just like Vardy. And this goal that he makes for Ziyech is incredible. And watch this, penalty kicks. Don't think about it twice, smack it in top corner. One of these players is going to be fantastically important today, possibly both.
You see the similarities in not only the position they play, but their style of play. Carlton, when you've got a centre forward like Timo Werner, like Jamie Vardy, that have got bags of pace, that are going to get chances in a game, I suppose as a player that will have played alongside those and will have been heavily reliant to make chances for those as well as score your own, is the key thing to get the best out of them, or is it the sort of you play off them in terms of what they're going to bring and you try and rally around them? How did you find playing against them, and how would you have played with Timo Werner?
Well, you definitely as a back line, you can't defend high. You cannot defend high because you can't leave that space in behind for a Timo Werner or a Jamie Vardy, because that space is going to be attacked. Balls in behind, they'll be on it all day. But to play with them, it's a dream, because that any balls down the sides, any balls over the top, they're going to connect to it. And they're hard-working players as well. They're not just speed players. They work hard. And that's one thing that I've got to give to Timo. Although he hasn't been scoring, or even Jamie Vardy, although he hasn't been scoring, the other side of the game where they have to graft for their team, that's why they're starters. Because they actually bring more than just pace to the team, and they open up defences. Jason will know these sort of players are really valuable, and they open up defences to make the other players get in there and try and do something.
Absolutely right. I mean, that's why he leads the line for Chelsea today. Just a quick team read before we hand you over to commentary. In goal, Kepa Arrizabalaga. Back three, captained by Cesar Azpilicueta alongside Thiago Silva and Antonio Rudiger. Reece James on the right, Marcos Alonso on the left, and N'Golo Kanté and Jorginho in the middle. Mason Mount, Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner up top for Chelsea. Time's arrived. Fans have been waiting 2 years to get back inside for an FA Cup final. All the talking is done. The players are ready to write their own history. Chelsea versus Leicester City in the 140th FA Cup final. Live from Wembley Stadium in the company of Pat Nevin and Matt Davies-Adams.
Hello and welcome to our coverage of the 2021 FA Cup final from Wembley. It is Chelsea versus Leicester City. You join us just as the two teams are being presented to Prince William, lining up ahead of the biggest match of some of these players' careers. And isn't it good to have the natural noise of supporters in the background? 21,000 spectators inside Wembley Stadium for this FA Cup final. A huge occasion anyway, but it really does feel boosted by the presence of supporters inside the stadium. Chelsea versus Leicester then. The Blues having had a relatively straightforward passage to this stage of the competition, it must be said. Morecambe, Luton, Barnsley, Sheffield United, and then a more difficult game against Manchester City. Leicester have seen off Stoke, Brentford, Brighton, Manchester United and Southampton. I'm Matt Davies-Adams, Pat Nevins alongside me. Pat, of course it is the first of these two big games between these two in the space of a couple of days, as we hear the national anthem. I'll ask you that question when it's finished. Pat, I was going to say it's always a big game, and there's always debate about whether this occasion is what it was many years ago, but definitely the presence of supporters has enhanced this year's final, and also the fact that they are so close to each other in the league just gives it an extra frisson, I think.
Yeah, there's a tension. I don't think there's any big favourite today. I think there's not much in between. Chelsea have been in fantastic form, obviously, since Thomas Tuchel came in, but we're below Leicester in the league, so it's a tight one. Nice to see all the normal things, although a slightly Americanised version of the national anthem, I thought there. Nothing wrong with that. It's just an interesting take, an unusual take. But the stadium doesn't actually look too bad, does it? I mean, it's not a huge number of fans in, but they're crowded in the lower tiers, and it's going to give a right good atmosphere, which is what everybody's been looking forward to. So yeah, it's a big day. It's a massive day in English and world football. And if you think about it, there'll still be hundreds and hundreds of millions tuning in around the world.
Let's get you up to date with the team news then. Chelsea showing 5 changes from the side beaten by Arsenal in midweek. Kerr is the goalkeeper. Back 3, Cesar Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva and Tony Rudiger. Then it's Reece James and Marcos Alonso as the wing-backs, and N'Golo Kanté and Jorginho in the middle. Hakim Ziyech and Mason Mount either side of Timo Werner. Remember, in the FA Cup this season, you can use 5 substitutes in the 90 minutes. There will be a bonus one should we go to extra time. Chelsea's bench: Chilwell, Emerson, Gilmour, Giroud, Havertz, Hudson-Odoi, Mendy, Pulisic and Kurt Zouma. Leicester's team, well, they have Kasper Schmeichel in goal. Back 3, Wesley Fofana, Johnny Evans and Kaglar Soyuncu. Timothy Castagna and Luke Thomas are the wing-backs, with Yuri Tielemans and Wilfred Ndidi in midfield. Jose Perez, Kelechi Iheanacho and Jamie Vardy are their front 3. Their subs: Albrighton, Amati, Chowdhury, Madison, Mendy, Morgan, Pereira, Pratt and Ward. Referee is Michael Oliver, and hopefully that'll be a good sign, because he did the 2018 final, which was the last time that Chelsea won it. I mentioned the Premier League standings, Pat, and the Champions League final to come, etc. and so on. We could have a conversation about where this falls in Chelsea's overall priorities, but for the next couple of hours, this is priority number 1.
Absolutely. There is no player out there who will be doing anything other than everything to win this game. So yeah, you can have lots of discussions about what is and isn't the most important one. At this second, this is it. And you want to win. You can see there's no expectation unnecessary you're going to win anything else or even get in the top 4. So you've got to get that piece of silverware, and once you've got it, they can't take it away from you. And it's something that every player, and I believe every player in world football, wants to win a winner's medal for the FA Cup.
And particularly those in the Chelsea ranks who were beaten here 12 months ago, that will still rankle with them. I know Leicester have never won it, so plenty of motivation for both sides.
Yeah, and the fact that as everyone takes the knee, and the fact that on top of all of that, there are a number of players that know the Chelsea history, the recent history of this club. It's winners, and you want to be part of that legacy.
8 times winners, Chelsea. This is their 15th FA Cup final. Reached the final for the 4th time in the last 5 seasons. The most successful FA Cup side since the turn of the century are the Blues. And immediately, Cesar Azpilicueta throw-in finds Timo Werner, right channel, doesn't have anybody in the box to support him, so had to cross it straight toward Kasper Schmeichel. Any surprises in terms of the team news for you, Pat? I guess Chilwell missing out, possibly, but other than that, maybe as we predicted.
Surprises, I'm no longer surprised by any Thomas Tuchel changes. You know, you could easily have had, Pulisic starting. You could easily have had Havertz starting. You could easily have had Chilwell starting, Christensen. And I wouldn't have batted an eyelid. Maybe the one name that's missing that's a slight surprise is Kovacic, because we're told he was just about ready. But, why take a chance, especially with that type of injury?
Yeah, Kovacic not amongst the substitutes today, nor is Christensen. First feel of the ball for Kepa, meanwhile. Fair bit of pressure on Leicester here, isn't there? Everybody says, oh, well, Chelsea are favourites, but as mentioned, they've never won it. They've got a manager who wants to be regarded as a top manager and has plenty of trophies to show for it, by the way, but not in terms of English football. Here comes Werner, though, again. Meanwhile, inside the penalty area, again, he hasn't got much support at the byline. Gets a crossover towards Ziyech, and Fofana and Evans between them can clear it away. Chelsea made a good start in the opening 90 seconds.
They have, and quite clearly they've got a number of tactics, as Chelsea always will have, but I'll tell you one of them. So, you better watch out for it, because Timo Werner is going to be on your shoulder all afternoon, and probably halfway into the evening as well. Every time you get a chance, pop it over the top. Now, Soyuncu is not slow.